Some behavioral strategies for helping a kid deal with stress. First of all, obviously, emphasize the positive or when the problems are not occurring instead of emphasizing when there's a problem. Provide rewards for using or trying to use strategies. Provide rewards for attempting something that the child sometimes avoids. I think that having some incentives and some motivators is an essential part of treating a child to help them with their stress or anxiety. You also really want to watch yourself. If you're a parent with a kid that has problems with anxiety, this is stressful for you too, and you're probably anxious about their anxiety. You need to watch yourself. You need to be able to model a calm example, and you need to remove yourself if you're getting really upset with the child. Don't minimize their feelings. Don't try to demand that they comply with you immediately when they're in the midst of an emotional episode. This is going to cause a tear in their relationship and can cause some problems with their ability to attach and trust human beings and with their ability to attach and trust you. There's a great book about that called Parenting from the Inside Out. If you're interested, you'll see that in the resources at the end of this video. I also want to emphasize that it's important not to take responsibility for your child's feelings. Okay? If you put it on yourself to think that it's your job to make them feel okay, they're going to buy into that. And so now what's going to happen is every time they don't feel good, it's going to be your fault, which is going to make you really anxious, and it's going to make the kid sort of hold you hostage with their feelings and make demands on you, and you're never going to be able to fix their feelings, because the truth is the only person that creates their feelings is you. You create your own feelings. You're also the only one who can fix your feelings. So we need to teach children some strategies for managing their feelings. We need to let them have their feelings. We need to provide incentives and motivators for trying those strategies. And we need to, at some point, hold them accountable for trying these strategies. We don't want to do a whole lot of reassuring. We want to say, I'm sorry that's bothering you. That sounds really tough. Now what can you do about that? But don't stay in here and continue to cling on me or continue to make demands on me for 45 minutes because you don't want to go to bed by yourself. That's not really fair to mom and dad. So at some point we can teach some strategies, and at some point we're going to have to use some behavior management stuff, and we're going to have to be a little bit more confrontive probably to hold them accountable for their behavior. Because here's the thing about anxiety. You have anxiety, and so what's the thing that we usually do? We develop an avoidance pattern. We're anxious about going to school, so we try not to go. If you're successful in not going because you pitch a big enough fit, that just reinforced that behavior, okay? We just taught that person that if you pitch a big enough fit, it might work and you might not have to go to school, which makes it more likely they're going to pitch that fit again. So that's one of the things that's difficult about working with this behavior, is the avoidance is reinforcing for more avoidance if you let them avoid. So you've got to find that balance between connecting with them and relating that you understand and have empathy for their feelings, helping them tell a story about what's going on that makes sense, and then at the end of the day, you've got to hold them accountable and say, look, I'm sorry this is bothering you. Here are your strategies. I need you to use those and not just continue to complain or whine to mom or dad. You can model being calm, and I think it's also very important to model that you have faith. If you're anxious about your kid's behavior and anxious about their anxiety, that's just going to feed into them and make them more anxious, and now you're both just escalating each other. So you, as a parent, if you're the parent working with a kid, you need to take that first step of faith, and which is a choice. You just choose to believe that your kid is going to have the resources to deal with this, that it's going to get better, and that you're going to be a good enough parent to see them through this. Don't give in to fear. Don't relate to that, because that's the enemy. And if your kid sees you getting fearful, they're going to go right down that path with you. So we need to lead by example. Finally, set clear limits and maintain boundaries. If you don't set clear limits and maintain boundaries, the kids are going to get more anxious. What happens in a family with a child who's allowed to make the rules to say when they're going to eat and where they're going to eat, because if not, they're going to have a big fit over it? What happens is those kids get more and more anxious and more controlling, because it is not comfortable for a 7-year-old to be controlling a family. Okay, they're not ready for that. We don't want to put them in that position. It would be better to put up with the big fit of them not getting their way, because in the long run, that's going to serve you much better.